fitness coach or brand, did you know that you might not actually own the rights to the logo that you're using? You know that someone could actually stop you from using that logo at any time? It's true. Let's dive right into the legalities of having a logo created for your fitness business. Okay, guys, I get it. It's so easy just to log on to Fiverr, Upwork, or Etsy, or one of those places and get a really quick logo slapped together so you can get it on your website to push out whatever services or products that you're trying to sell in the fitness industry. I understand it. But there's some fundamental legal things that you guys need to be aware of. When you're hiring individuals who are contractors, they're not coming on as employees of yours, by default, without any signings or writings or anything to convey the intellectual property rights in that logo, or maybe they're creating images for you, they're taking photographs, all of those intellectual property works remain the ownership of that contractor. Okay, so what? What does that mean? Let me break it down just a little bit for you. Intellectual property. This is something that all of you guys have in business. If you're in business, you have a business name, that's intellectual property. And typically the main two types of intellectual property that you guys probably hear about in legal stuff are copyrights and trademarks. Now, when I'm talking about logos and images, I'm focusing primarily on copyrights here. But the fundamental legalities of who owns the rights in these creative works, whether it's the logo or your social media updates, your blog posts, your images that are going on your social media, all of that could not be owned by you. You think, though, when you hire somebody to create something for you, that you should own it. You should get to do what you want with it, right? Wrong. In the United States, by default, an independent contractor, somebody that's not an employee for you, someone that's not a W-2 type employee, that contractor retains the ownership rights in whatever it is they created. Logo is a prime example. Photographs are another huge one that are plaguing the fitness industry these days. Guys, you don't own them. What does that mean? You can never try to protect them. Someone steals your logo, you can never try to enforce upon somebody else because you don't own the rights to enforce it. Maybe you want to go to trademark the logo. You don't have the rights to do it because it remained with the contractor. It is property of the contractor, the person that created it for you. And last but not least, and the most scary out of this, the person that owns, or the entity that owns the rights in that logo or these images could stop you from using them at any time. If you filled up your website with logos and images, or your Instagram feed with all these images, and you think that you own them, that sucks when you get sent a notice saying you need to stop using them. And then if you continue, you could get slapped with a copyright infringement lawsuit. So what is the solution for this? It is so simple. You guys are going to be like, oh my God, Rachel, why didn't you start with that? Guys, it is simple. When you when you send out a job onto one of these sites, or maybe it's a friend that does logos down the street, or your local photographer, you need to do some key things. Whether they are on staff with you or they're a contractor, and I know I just said contractors are the ones that have ownership, so we need to have it turned over to us, but I still recommend, even when someone is an employee for you, that you have a written contract that for any works that they create belongs to you, belongs to your business entity, that belongs to your brand. Okay? So what did I just say? I just said that you guys need to make sure that anybody you hire, whether employer or contractor, they're signing documentation that is transferring over all intellectual property rights to you. Now, I understand that sometimes there may be pushback from a logo designer or a photographer or a social media virtual assistant or marketing manager, but you have to consider this all boils down to negotiations, and it is really important. Everything that I have mentioned are intellectual property assets that should be owned by your business for the reasons that I've outlined, but also consider this. They are your brand. Everything that's outward facing, you need to have control over. And that includes maybe one day you're going to sell off the business. I know many times entrepreneurs don't want to think about that, but you do. And if you don't own any of that, you can't sell it. Okay? So just keep in mind that you guys need to think about the project that you're having someone do. Go ahead and have them sign some written documentation signing over the intellectual property rights to you. If they have a pushback on that, maybe consider explaining to them, send them this video because they probably don't know what's going on. It's nothing wrong if they try to be compensated for the full ownership of whatever the works it is that they've created, and that's super common in commercial business because guess what? You're in commercial business if you're selling a product or service. All right, so written documentation, have it signed over, or you guys are risking your brand and risking your business in all of the elements that are marketing your business right now. Hope this helped you guys. Please make sure you subscribe to Fit Legally so I can send you guys some legal tips, new videos, and other tricks to keep your fitness business protected.